Jermaine Ellis, what happened to the sharing economy in San Francisco? What up, internet world? It's your boy Jermaine, back with another video. Haven't did a video talking about the sharing economy in a little bit, so let's just jump right into it. So if you guys don't know, I used to be involved in the sharing economy quite big back in the day. You know, doing Uber, Postmates, Caviar. Ooh, Caviar was like a really good one. TaskRabbit, Ship, Instacart. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. I've tried so many of them. Some are a lot better than others. Some are easier than others. Some are more consistent than others. If you know about the sharing economy hustle, if you've been around the Bay, you've probably heard about it. Maybe you've worked in it. Maybe you made good money in it. But let's just talk about what it's like right now in 2024, because hey, we got a lot we can talk about with this one, because the city has changed so much. A lot has changed, and let's just jump right into this one right here. So first off, I remember it was about 12 years ago. I was in San Francisco. I just moved here. The last thing I wanted to do was drive, because I was living in SoCal. I was working as a taxi driver, right? Last thing I wanted to do was drive. But when I figured out like what Uber was and what Lyft was and how much money you can make off of both of them, I was like, yeah, I don't mind. I'll drive again. Like, I'll go back to doing it. And it was Sidecar I started off with, then Uber, no, Sidecar, Lyft, then Uber. And then from there, it was like all the other apps, right? Because it was like, yo, let's try this. Let's try that. We already know Uber and Lyft, you can make money all day. But what if you don't want to drive? What if you want to help someone move? Right? There's Lug. What if you want to house sit, you know, or watch someone's dog, or like assemble furniture? Well, there's TaskRabbit. What if you just want to deliver stuff all day and you don't want to really talk to people and you don't want nobody in your car with you? Well, you got a whole bunch of, you know, Postmates, Postmates, Ship, Instacart. You just got a whole bunch of services you can do. Well, that was in the height of the market, right? When everybody was moving here, when San Francisco was like the coolest place to live in the world. I'm talking about a couple years right before the pandemic. Like, it was just sitting on this high thing, you know. It was just, oh yeah, I live in San Francisco. Oh really? Oh, you live in San Francisco? Oh wow, so nice, you know. It was just popping, right? A lot of money out there, a lot of people moving here, a lot of companies hiring. The amount of jobs it was just off the chain. Yo, you could just go on Craigslist and you could just pick and choose, right? So today, what has happened? Because it's 2024, and if we just go to downtown looks vastly different than what it used to, in terms of foot traffic, in terms of car traffic. Really, it's not really that busy unless there's a game, or unless it's just a busy day in California. So what do I mean by a busy day in California? Sometimes when you're in Soma, you see a lot of traffic, but you only see traffic on certain streets that are connected to the freeway, right? So that's people going from Northern Cal to Southern Cal, but they have to go through the city. So ain't nothing going on in the city, but like, you may be riding through and you may think, oh yeah, something's popping, but actually ain't nothing going on. It's just people going in and out the city, right? Now, to get to the sharing economy, because the sharing economy has gotten wrapped up in the city. So if the city goes down, the sharing economy is going to go down. If the city's popping, the sharing economy is going to be popping. If the city's popping, there's going to be more people. If the city's not popping, there's going to be less people here. Right now, the city is not popping. Okay, it is not popping. For the past couple years, there have been events that have pulled out of San Francisco. Okay, there has been events. And what I mean by events, I'm talking about things at like the Moscone Center, where like they'll have a tech conference, and a company will, you know, have a tech conference here, right? And then there'll be all these people coming here. Maybe it'll be 3,000 people, 4,000 people, 5,000 people. So 5,000 people are gonna fly here. Okay, they're gonna rent out the Moscone Center. Well, all those 5,000 people need hotel rooms, yo. So they got to stay around. So like, you know, it's just people coming here spending money. Also, them 5,000 people, they got to eat. They going to go to local restaurants. They got to get around. How they gonna get from the airport? They probably got to use an Uber, right? You know, when they're here, they're probably gonna do stuff like they might go shopping. They might go to the mall, right? They might go to some bars, right? They might go see the Golden Gate Bridge. They might go on a wine tour, right? So this is like when the city have events, this brings people to the city. When you bring people to the city, they're gonna spend money regardless. Well, over the past couple years after the pandemic started, there's been just an event after event after event that has just been canceled in San Francisco, right? So that's just less people coming here spending money. So when you talk about terms of the sharing economy, it's really bad because there's so fewer people living here than what it was just a couple years ago, okay? When they say like 100,000 people left, we're still feeling that, okay? We're still feeling that below, because 100,000 people moving from a place with like 800,000 people, that's just nuts, right? That's nuts. So everything's super slow. You know, those, $2,000 weeks they used to hear people, used to say that they used to make all the time. You don't really hear about those too much anymore. But also, you also don't hear about people getting hired for like tech companies like you once did either, okay? Now, one thing that's kind of interesting about the sharing economy, unlike a traditional 9-to-5 job or your traditional salary job, a salary job will like lay off, right? So you had Tesla, they laid off a whole bunch of employees, like 10% of their workforce, they laid off, right? They just put them on the chopping block. Chop, y'all gotta go, you out, okay? Now, in the sharing economy, it's a little bit different. You don't necessarily lay people off. Things just get really slow, okay? Things get really slow. So, for example, people used to make, $300 a week doing food delivery. No, $300 a day doing food delivery. Well, instead of you getting laid off, instead of, you go to your app and you can't go online anymore. Like it just doesn't work anymore because you got laid off, just like that person at the company. Tesla, they got laid off, so they can't work anymore. Like, no go, it doesn't work. No more money, right? Well, in the sharing economy, instead of just laying off people, things just get really, really slow. You go from having, $300 days, $350 days, to now you're making like $150, or you're making $100. Maybe some days you make $200. That's kind of how the game plays, right? And usually, if people are making one amount and then their pay just drops, sometimes there are a bunch of people that just take off, right? And then it sort of balances itself back out. Something else to throw out, there's just a lot of factors that's bringing up this situation in the city. So one thing that people don't talk about, I don't hear people talk about a lot, but it has a lot to do with SF, is interest rates. They've been increased. And whenever interest rates are increased, it costs more money to borrow money. Now, most people say this has nothing to do with me, but trust me, it does have something to do with you, because if companies can borrow money at a much cheaper interest rate, they're going to borrow money at that much cheaper interest rate, and they're going to do things like spend money in the economy to grow their business, right? But then they're going to be spending this money in this economy, okay? For example, you have a Bay Area tech company and they get, extra revenue because it's cheaper for them to borrow money, because they're like, we're going to be profitable in 3 years. So it's okay for us to borrow this money today because we predict that we're going to be profitable in 3 years. Well, they can go out and hire a lot of people, right? When they hire people, what do those people do? Those people probably rent an apartment. Those people probably go to the mall and go shopping. Those people probably go to restaurants. Those people probably take Ubers. Basically, those people put money in the economy, right? So when things go the other way, and gosh, interest rates have been low for so long, and a place like San Francisco would greatly benefit from low interest rates, just because it's a place that's very expensive. You got a lot of tech money here, and if money's cheap to borrow, we're going to be spending, right? just even in some of the nicer neighborhoods in San Francisco, right after the pandemic, I noticed it was so much construction going on in these fancy neighborhoods. Well, interest rates were really low back then, and it was right before they started to hike them. So people are thinking, oh yeah, they're gonna raise interest rates, so we should probably start the construction on our house now because it'll be cheaper versus if we wait like 3 years. And that was also before inflation too, because inflation wasn't so bad. But they say inflation's cooling off now, which is, I really hope it is, because that's kind of a cool thing, you know? So interest rates have definitely affected the city. And then also just the amount of people that lost their jobs is like a trickle down effect, and it greatly hurts the sharing economy, okay? So what I mean by the amount of people that lost their jobs, I'm talking about the tech workers that lost their jobs, people that were working for a tech company, right? You know, you take 10 tech workers, you're probably going to create like 2 jobs of service industry jobs, like someone working in, you know, a restaurant, or someone working as a driver, or someone working, you know, in this other industry. Because when you have all these people coming here making money in the tech industry, well, they're going to spend money too, right? They're going to need help moving. They're going to need help getting around. They're going to need food. They're going to probably need someone to walk their dog, right? They're just going to spend money. So when all those folks get fired, oh my gosh, it's like a trickle down effect. You know, it is literally a trickle down effect. And the sharing economy is like, it's kind of cyclical. You know, when people are making money, like, it's going to be popping. When people are not making money, it's not going to be popping, yo. Like, it is not going to be popping. And I kind of thought that more and more people would get involved in the sharing economy. I was thinking that over time, like, delivery apps would just get more popular and more people would deliver. And now it's 2024, and CVS and Walgreens is still open. You know, you still hear Amazon saying, oh yeah, we're going to get into the delivery business of pharmacy, but I've never ever heard of, you know, any Amazon pharmacy delivery. So basically, I thought the sharing economy was going to grow. I thought it was going to get bigger and more people would be involved, but seems like it's sort of slowed down. But once again, everything's more expensive. Inflation. I mean, you want to talk about just food delivery? Have y'all seen the prices to just get like a burrito from Chipotle on Uber Eats? Oh my gosh, the same burrito might cost you $13 at Chipotle. It'll cost you almost $30 on the Uber Eats app. After the fees, after the taxes, you know, after this and that, man, it's expensive, bro. They be charging, bro. And I kind of see like why people don't use the apps that much anymore. But then once again, it's also less people around to use the apps. It's also less restaurants in the city. Think about all them restaurants that closed down in the city, yo. All those restaurants in the financial district that just closed down because there just wasn't enough foot traffic anymore. It wasn't enough foot traffic. I remember the financial district, just how many people it was in the financial district, how you could just be on a bike. You can just ride your bike around all day and make a couple $100. Easy. Not even really sweating too much. You're not even going up any big hills. Those days are gone because now the financial district is dead. It's dead, but it's also kind of interesting because some places are so packed because, well, there's not that many restaurants to choose from, and then the lunch window hour is not that big, you know? Lunchtime is what, 11 to like 1:30, 11 to 2, right? So you go by some restaurants downtown, like Mendocino Farms, a whole bunch of delivery people out. And then let's just talk about another thing too. Super saturated with delivery workers. I don't know where these folks come from, but if you go down in front of Mendocino Farms or if you go to 60 Morris, bro, you are going to see so many delivery people. And the problem I see with that is back in the day, if you actually hung out together in groups, you actually didn't get requests because the apps would see all y'all together hanging out. So y'all not that serious, so we're gonna give it to someone else who's moving around, right? And nowadays, it's so slow. Sometimes you can be on some of those apps, like sometimes you can be on Uber Eats at lunchtime. Bro, I promise you, sometimes you'll be on there for like 2 hours, you get no requests. But it's so many people out working, especially if you go in front of that Chipotle on 4th Street. Man, you gonna see so many scooters down there, bro. Like, you are gonna see so many freaking scooters. It's crazy, man. But yeah, that's how it is now. Food delivery game, like, you almost need to be on a scooter, right? I guess if it's a pizza, they can give you a pizza if you're on a scooter. But yeah, the food delivery hustle has changed a lot. Sharing economy is not what it is. Like, once again, ain't nobody coming to the city. The city is not popping like it once was. That junk cooled off a lot. And I'm just keeping it 100. It didn't really cool off. I love the city. I love San Francisco. But yeah, you know, you got to speak the truth on the city. And right now, it ain't that popping. But that could be a good time to move here. I don't know. I don't know what you're going to do for work. But it is jobs out here, I will say. I don't want to put too much out there. But yeah, there's definitely jobs out here. But you got to look high and low. You know, it ain't the sharing economy no more. I think that bubble burst. But anyway, for now, thought I would make a little video for the day. I'm going to try to get back in this video game. Try to make a video every day. Talk about this, talk about that. But now, we out. I love y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching. And I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.